Omelets?
You guys are the moderators, please.
Well, who has questions?
I do. First of all, I want to tell you that I heard all the answers about the where Brian and Justin now from you, and I want just to let you know that your answer was realistic.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
I honestly don't remember what I say. I just remember people screaming at me.
They were, and I wish they could stop asking you because your answer was realistic.
Thanks.
Yeah. My question,
Realistic is wrong.
it was okay.
God, that's
I would like to see you do another musical.
Right.
Because Tommy was so wonderful.
Yeah,
And
Tommy
your
was
singing
fun.
voice is just really good.
Thanks.
So, is there any chance of that?
I mean, yeah, I'm not planning on one right now, but
But you wouldn't rule that out in the future?
no.
Okay, great.
Have you seen or want to see Kinky Boots at all?
I haven't seen Kiki Boots. If I can get like a cheap ticket, I can see it.
I
I have a friend in it. I'll probably see it at some point when I'm home.
It was playing on TV actually while we were out of town.
The movie? Yeah.
Yes.
You get the TDF ticket, right?
Yeah, you can get it.
Absolutely.
Things that are too popular though aren't on
No.
TKTS.
I have a question. Being Australian, so it's a little parochial, but I just wondered what it was like working with Russell McKay in those first couple of episodes as the director.
I think it was fun. He was wild. Yeah.
Well, he's very, he's like, I think his baseline energy is like a 200 miles an hour. He's very, very driven, you know, like just naturally, physically, verbally. But fun, very fun. I mean, it was just shoot. Like he really wanted to shoot as much as he possibly could and get as much, I think, scattered things on film that he could put together would have some internal kind of logic to it.
I wish I could do it again because it was my first experience ever in front of a camera with him, so I had no like comparison. Now after years of having done that show and done some other things, it would be different to compare him to other people I worked with. Then I was just like, oh, this is how this happens. Okay. This is what you do.
Yeah. It's a good point. Yeah, with someone like that, it's got a real specific sort of dynamic energetically. And I was coming from the same place very early for me too. If I had known that, a little bit of what I know, and I don't know that much now, but it would have been much more, I think, exciting to interact with him in that way.
He came back though. Did he just come back the end of that season, or didn't he come back later on in another season?
I think he came back once, right? He was supposed to come back for more, but he was busy doing other things.
Yeah. Yes.
Can I ask what you liked about Justin and Mary?
Funny.
You tweeted that.
Oh yeah, it's really good. Did you see it?
No,
Yeah.
I didn't.
I love Fiona Shaw, and especially with a piece like that. But I've seen her do like Medea and different Shakespeare stuff, and she manages to make something that's like so heightened and iconic, either just like language or obviously like portraying Mary. Both like as grand and as huge and as epic as it is, but also it kind of, she just seems like this eccentric human being that wandered off on the street and is just like, it's both things. Like her Medea is both like Greek and epic and just like a woman at the same time, and especially with language, she can make a language sound huge, heightened language sound pedestrian in a good way, like you understand, like you're talking to a friend without negating the fact that it's Shakespeare. So that was obviously, because that language was really amazing. Humanizing a character like that was interesting. I remember the last line, like loving the last line and how like quick the show ended. The things I didn't like about it too, but I really enjoyed it. It's a good movie. And I thought I would hate it because I don't like Christianity. I'm not really interested in like the Christian myths that has no relevance. But it was good.
She was Jesus' mother.
She was Jesus' mother. I learned that.
Theater's a learning tool sometimes.
Oh, really?
No.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I've been wondering this for a long time. Every time I rewatch the series, it's in my head as I'm watching. And you may not know the answer, and you may not remember what you were thinking at the time, but if you do, I'd love to hear it. Do you, this is for both of you, do you both think at any time that Justin found out that Brian came to the hospital all the time to see him when he was recovering from the bashing? Because we know that his mother knew that, and I'm wondering if you guys ever thought about or played it as if Justin had found out that Brian was there for him the whole time when he thought he hadn't been.
I forgot that he didn't know that.
Have you guys ever watched the series through since it's been done? Have you ever watched?
No. I watched.
You should.
I watched,
You know, it's pretty good.
I've heard it's good. Yeah.
You either, Gail? No?
Sorry?
You've never watched it either?
I've never watched it all the way through. I've watched pieces of it, trying to
Understand.
look for things. Yeah.
I would imagine that he knew eventually. I mean, I feel like their relationship changed near the end. Like they were actually getting old. Like maybe it's not something you would hide anymore.
Right.
Tell me again, if you remember, because I don't remember it, to be confident that I'm giving the correct term. Your injury, technically,
Right.
this part of it.
The brain part.
Do you remember? Was it a traumatic brain injury? Do you remember? Did they ever get into those details? They never.
They avoided.
Neural
avoided that.
pathways. Come on, guys.
What?
Neural pathways.
Neural pathways are much bigger than what the specific injury is, though. So that's, you know my point? Like, you can have a neural pathway degenerative disease that has nothing to do with impact, but that.
I remember a huge amount of like the symptoms that they were making me have were like PTSD stuff.
Yeah.
You know,
So I can answer that question for you a little bit because I had a traumatic brain injury, and there are people that came to see me in the hospital that I have no memory of them knowing that they were there, never seeing them ever. I don't have any recollection of seeing them ever. But sometimes I'll dream about them talking to me in the hospital, which is weird. And that may be because I've learned they were there afterwards. But that's the whole recovery thing when you're trying to put your thoughts back together. Then your brain will just start choosing randomly, and just trying to assemble a history for yourself so that you don't feel like you're losing your mind, right? So if you are not conscious, or if you're anesthetized, or you're under some sort of medical supervision chemically, then you might not even have the ability to. But you can hear people say things, and then you can put those pieces back together later. That would be a much more interesting way to go.
Yeah, I don't think my character ever remembered, but I feel like he would have told me. I don't know.
It came out because he told his mother knew. Justin's mother knew that Brian had
Well,
been
Brian
there.
would have let him find out accidentally.
Right.
All right. Okay. That makes sense.
That's just control device number 7,000.
Mm-hmm.
This is a question for both of you. What was it that you brought to your character that wasn't in the script for the character? Do you remember anything?
I wish I could remember like specific battles that I had that I won, but I don't know if that's What?
I think you didn't win any.
No.
I just watched you do this just a minute ago, and that was such a Justin thing.
Was it? Well, that
Yeah.
was probably
You're
just
always
me
doing
thing.
this.
Was I uncomfortable?
Hands were too small.
Can you answer that question?
Yeah, I can answer the question. I don't. You mean something that I brought intentionally, or something that I discovered that I brought just because? I think that I've thought about that. I mean, I know I brought a lot of paranoia and a lot of fear. And it got progressively more intense. Not to say that the experiences were universally terrifying, but some of them were quite terrifying. And I think that just a simple way of saying it, I think that whatever a camera can do, which is see things that you are maybe not able to create voluntarily, I think that when someone is so terrified of what they're doing, that's going to come out, and sometimes it comes out with them coming across as being completely fearless, which is a total fallacy. So I think that the stuff that I brought to it, I just didn't want to insult anybody that I knew personally. And I probably failed at that by insulting people that I didn't know personally. Yeah. I think we were both, like, I was not adept at working in those circumstances with a camera. I didn't have my bearings professionally. I was still green and naive, and I think that in a weird way it helped, you know, because I was just kind of hanging on.
We both were.
Well, it worked for us.
Yeah.